rusty cylinder heads that have been kind of sitting on the shelf and in storage for a while. In the process of getting this thing back together. Need to get the rust off. Other products, quite a bit of money. Here's what we're going to use. $2.50 a gallon. 5 gallons of the stuff. Pour it on top of here and let it soak 3 days. White vinegar, nothing else. Acetic acid. We'll show you what happens. In the last video we talked about using vinegar to get the rust off of this pair of cylinder heads off of this 302. It's been 24 hours since I put them in this vinegar bath. This thing has been bubbling like you would not believe. And so far, look at the result. This side did not get immersed completely. One head is completely immersed. See if I can turn this over so you can see just how effective vinegar bath has been. Again, these heads were done about a couple of years ago and just sat up and flash rusted. Now that we're getting ready to get to the project, it's time to remove the rust. On the heavier scale, you see there's a lot to be removed yet, but look at that. That's just scaled off completely. Just light brushing. Just even using my fingers. This comes right off. Other solutions were going to cost anywhere from $20-something for a single can up to $89 for a 5-gallon can. Wow. Check that. All you have to do is look at the previous video and see how rusty these were before they got immersed into this vinegar bath. Total cost of this solution, this process, is only $21. Go to the local discount store, buy the 1-gallon vinegar, white vinegar, distilled vinegar. Soak your products in it, folks. This stuff works. Shouts out to my man out of Mississippi, Craftsman, and his video talking about that, and especially check it out, y'all. He's cool. Love his voice, like everybody else says. Nothing other than vinegar. Get you some baking soda also, because you're going to have to put these in a bath to neutralize the acetic acid that's inside the vinegar. I think I will leave them in there for a little while longer, maybe another 24, even though I probably don't need it. I had an electrician come by this morning, so I did not get out here earlier to check on the progress. So size your container properly so that you can also immerse your head or whatever part that you got completely. Just pour the vinegar in and let it do its thing. It's hands down the cheapest rust remover that I have ever used. Alright. Thanks for stopping by, folks. That's what it looks like after 48 hours, roughly, being in a distilled vinegar bath, and it's still bubbling and everything. This is some wicked looking gnarly stuff. So, as I said last time, this particular one, because of the size of the container, this was only a 32 quart container, so it was not tall enough to fit both of the heads in side by side. Recommendation: local big box place with the orange sign. 17-gallon tote by HDX. It's probably going to be a better solution. That's what I went and bought this morning to make my rinse bath in preparation for taking these out today and washing them down and then neutralizing them. But simple white vinegar has basically removed the overwhelming majority of the rust on the cylinder head. All that's needed now is just some mild scrubbing with a brush, Scotch-Brite pad, something of that nature, to get the remaining of the rust scale off of the cylinder heads. Now, once you do the rinse, once you do the neutralizing bath, some folks said that they could get by just with a warm water rinse. I'm going to still do the baking soda thing just to neutralize the acetic acid in this. Purely up to you. Just a recommendation. So, essentially just doing what works. So again, it's a far more cost effective than dealing with some of the major rust removers. Particularly when you're doing this process, if you're like me, all you got is time anyway. Put a little time and effort into it, save a little money. I said about $20 something for 5 gallons of vinegar. And then I invested another $20 in the 2 totes because I'm actually going to try to recover this vinegar in like a 5-gallon bucket. Maybe even come up with some way to filter out any rust and scale and whatnot that might be in it so that I could reuse it for future rust removal project. Simple, it's effective. It's not toxic, which is really great. Look at that. Simply amazing, simply amazing. And simple to do. Caution on doing it with aluminum, a lot of the bloggers say. Vinegar is going to change the color of aluminum just like any other cleaner and whatnot. One of my favorite things to do was to use a product like Simple Green or even Awesome, which is a fantastic degreaser. But it will dull aluminum. Of course, these are iron heads, so that's not even an issue. Like, yeah, what are you doing with iron heads these days? Well, hell, you use what you got. That's my position. That's my present theory right now. I'm not a rich guy, wealthy guy, like a lot of us out there. But I just want to put something together and have a whole lot of fun. Plus, I love doing this. Unbelievably clean. Unbelievably clean. Definitely worth the investment in rust removal. Now this head over here has been completely immersed, so it should come out even cleaner, I think. Let's see if I can pull it up real quick without making a mess over here. There we go. Look at that. How much more simple and effective can you get? Distilled white vinegar. And that's a 48-hour soak. So these are coming out. They're going to get rinsed. They're going to go through the neutralizing bath. Then you're going to need to... And just like that, in the middle of a brilliant narration, the video stopped. Most likely a battery or maybe a call interruption. I don't remember. What I'm trying to remind you to do after you put your component into the bath and do the neutralizing bath, rinse that piece thoroughly
then dry it with air, then coat it with some type of rust inhibitor. If you are not going to assemble that part uh, anytime soon, then I'd also recommend putting it in a heavy duty plastic bag to keep it from flash rusting, as well as protect it from dust and other contaminants that you may have floating around in your garage. Do those things, and you'll have a much cleaner project and won't have to repeat the process a second time like I did, of course, after it sat and flash rusted after a couple of years of the project just basically not being done on the timeline that I had originally planned. Life happens, like I've told you many, many times before. But when it does, there's always a solution. Just takes a little time and a little bit of effort. So remember, baking soda neutralizing bath, air dry, coat with a rust inhibitor, store it in a plastic bag, and your project will remain rust free until you are ready to assemble it. Thanks a lot for stopping by the channel. This is Willie with the Notebooks from my garage, reminding you I'm trying to get everything out of light that I can because I'm running on borrowed time. We'll see you next time.